Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sen.
Hi, everyone. So, what we're recording now is a pre intro What, Where, Why Enemies of Bloodborne Celestial Children.
Mm-hmm.
So, What, Where, Why is a patron only series, but some of the episodes end up on YouTube for various reasons. And the reason this episode is on YouTube is because it has important Ebrietas lore.
Yes.
Yes. Keep in mind that because this was originally designed for Patreon, this episode might be a little bit strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not up to our usual standard.
No. So if you accidentally stumbled upon this and you don't know what Ebrietas is and you don't know what the Snack Covenant is, I would
Yeah,
suggest...
I envy you.
Damn. I would suggest not watching this and instead watch a video that I will link in the description.
I would simply suggest not watching this.
Thank you, Richie. Well, that's about it. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hi, Richie.
Hi, Sen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to What, Where, Why, episode 14, Celestial Children. And this was suggested by Dakota. Woo!
Woo!
So, Richie, what are the Celestial Children?
Okay, so I'm actually somewhat confused here because I think you mean the blue mushroom people.
No, Celestial Child. The little...
Yeah, that's what I thought, because
Ebrietas.
those are called celestial lava.
Not on the Bloodborne wiki. On the Bloodborne wiki, it's Celestial Child.
I know, because there's a bit of confusion about child and lava and, like, what's what. So I'm glad we've cleared that up.
Oh, wait, what? So it's
No, 'cause
Celestial Larva?
some-
What?
No, oh my god. Okay,
Okay.
I will check the official name in a second. I'm just waiting for something to finish downloading. Basically,
Okay.
some people call the little blue celestials the celestial... They call them celestial children, to
Okay.
contrast them with the celestial emissary being gigantic. But they're actually called celestial emissaries. And then the big one is just called the big celestial emissary. So, hang on, I'm just going to go and get the official name.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the official name is Celestial Child.
Yes, that is the celestial child.
Yes! Oh! Yes. Since the best and wins against and knows her Bloodborne lore.
Feels like it needs an extra bit on the end. Like a cheer. Since the best and is the best, she knows her Bloodborne lore.
Like, there needs to be a second part. We'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're 2 minutes and 22 seconds in and it's starting.
Yeah. So the people at home might be able to hear that sound of ice in the background. You know it's going to be a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe in us. I think with this one, we can do it. We can stay on topic, we can be concise, and it can be like 7 minutes like these were meant to be.
What one has ever come in at 7 minutes?
That was my initial idea. Like, that's how I envisioned
Isn't
this.
the carrion crow over half an hour?
Yes.
A slightly larger than normal bird.
I'm sorry, Gary Butterfield, you're less popular than a slightly larger than normal bird.
Well, no, he's less popular on this channel. In every other aspect, he is absolutely a powerhouse. Who's able to, run a self-sufficient podcasting network for himself and, multiple employees.
That's true.
Yeah. But within the very specific context of Sinclair lore. He is less popular than a slightly larger than normal bird.
Richie, oh my god, what if this is some sort of like we live? Like the Snack Covenant is like its own little universe, and in it, like when you put things in, like you see the true potential of other things. So like if the slightly larger than normal Bloodborne crow existed in real life,
Yeah.
it would have been like twice the powerhouse Gary is.
This is a very, very strange game you're currently playing. It's like, who would win? A crow or Gary Butterfield? I don't know. what are the rules of this contest?
I like podcasting.
But I think Gary is a better podcaster than a crow, because it would just go...
You're not thinking about the Snack Covenant universe. It's showing us that if that crow was real, in real life, then it could have been a great podcaster.
By the Snack Covenant universe, you just mean, like, strange dreams that you're having.
It's a strange dream universe. And when I talk about the Snack Covenant universe, I'm gesturing with my hand like a sphere. Like it's a small sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you're aware, it's not a big universe, it's a small one.
Okay. So about
Thank you,
3
Richie.
minutes ago exactly, you said this will be very on topic. 7 minutes like I planned.
Oh no, it's 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, that means we have 1.5 minutes to finish this. Richie, what are the celestial children?
It's a little slug thing.
Where are they?
They're mostly in Upper Cathedral Ward, but Ariana also gives birth to one. They're also in the chalices. There's 3 unused ones in your Seftis clinic.
Why are they?
I don't even know what they are anymore.
Thank you, Richie. How long was that? Okay, 6 minutes. Okay, we managed. So now that we made it within the 7-minute limit, we can say we had one that we did. So let's do this good now.
But remember, it was 7-minute limit after 5 minutes of not talking about it. So it's really more like 1 minute.
So Richie,
Yeesh.
can you please tell me about the celestial child?
Okay, so the celestial children are... It's kind of confusing, because you might think that, oh, these look like a little version of Ebrietas. And there's a whole lot of them around where Ebrietas is.
Mm-hmm. Also, don't they face Ebrietas?
Yeah, when they're in Upper
Yeah.
Cathedral Ward, they all turn to face where Ebrietas is. So you might think to yourself, like, okay, they probably Ebrietas' children then. Surely that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No. Because the whole point of Bloodborne is that the church are desperate to find... Okay, the other confusing part is that when Ariana gives birth to the child of Erden, it looks like it's the same model, it's just smaller and with a slightly different texture, but it's the same kind of thing. Right. So you might think to yourself, oh, those are the children of Great Ones, hence the name Celestial Child. There's a whole lot of them in this area, so they probably, like, it's the children of Great Ones, that's the end of it. This, however, has a number of severe problems with it. Because the whole point of the game is that the Healing Church are desperate to find the child of a Great One. So it doesn't make sense that they would also have, like, a dozen of them just in, and he's never thought... I don't know what the story is. Like, they have to go through immense, like, toil and suffering and, like, sacrifice to get the child of a Great One.
I know what happened.
Go on.
So they have all these children of Great Ones, and then somebody's like, Lawrence or whatever, look, we have all these children of Great Ones here. And you see cute little, like, celestial children, like, crawling around. And Lawrence is like,
I can't bring myself to kill them and take their eye cords out. We're just going to keep them.
yeah.
And the Healing Church is going to become the Celestial Child Petting Zoo.
Oh my god!
That was Lawrence's final will before he disappeared. That's what Gurman's waiting for. He wants more children of great ones to put in the petting zoo.
Oh my god! We just came up with another movie.
No.
Is this how Adam Sandler comes up with his movies? He just has like an idea and then it's a movie?
I thought you were going to say, is this how the podcast ends? It's just completely lucid and it degenerates into this crap. So, yeah. So,
but I want to clarify. I really like Adam Sandler's older movies.
yeah.
Not the newer ones. I just don't
Yeah.
connect with the newer ones. But like Waterboy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
What about Punch Drunk Love? Where do you put that?
Yeah, that's still like, it's still good, I think.
Yeah. He went through that weird phase of trying to like be a serious actor, so he did. This is before Uncut Gems, the pre-Uncut Gems attempt at being serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did. It was they sort of like worse versions of the movies Will Smith does to prove he's a serious actor. Things like The Pursuit of Happiness and 7 Pounds, but I can't remember. Oh, Spanglish.
Oh yeah, I remember that. What was that about?
I don't remember. I don't care. This is about celestial children.
I'm just.
So you saying Adam Sandler is a celestial child?
I'm just trying to. Okay, Happy Gilmore is another one I thought was cool. The Wedding Singer was cute.
Yeah. Okay. Celestial children.
Waterboy.
Celestial
Big Daddy
children.
I didn't really connect with. Little Nicky I liked. That was very cute.
Shin, this is Adam Sandler. You have to continue podcasting about celestial children.
Okay, Adam Sandler.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Academy Award nominee Adam Sandler. Okay. So
yeah.
The Celestial Children.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them in Upper Cathedral Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really make a great deal of sense to say that they're the children of great ones, because if they were, the Healing Church would not need to go through all the fucking mess it's going through right now. It could just churn them out. Like, it basically would have like a ton of just like Celestial Child Factory. So it's really weird that like it's like everything is pointing toward, are these Ebrietas' children? Are these like something like that? The simplest, oh god, like, and they're all facing Ebrietas, and the thing is, a bunch of them are they're positioned like they're near Ebrietas, like they're at the altar of despair. So the other thing about them is that they're a native enemy in Ys. Like, if you make an Ys chalice, the celestial children are like just in there, just like squidging around. They're like a really common enemy type. So I think that the simplest way to look at it is to say, like, okay, the celestial children are like, they're not the children of great ones. They're just like, it's like the celestial emissary and like all those other things. They're just like a weird like little monster thing. So they're like they're celestial children, but they're not the children of great ones. They're more like they're just some weird kin of the cosmos deal.
You know how the Celestials, at least some of them were likely results of experiments?
Yeah.
So could celestial children be related to the experiments that were performed on Celestials?
I don't know. It's like really like the really confusing part is that Ariana gives birth to one, which really makes it seem like they must be like the children, but they're clearly not, because it would mess, the whole story would function completely differently if they were.
Well, no, wait a minute. Actually, it wouldn't mess the whole story up, because let's say, because we find them where the choir is, right?
Yeah.
Choir comes after Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Lawrence was trying to find the children of great ones, but Choir later came up with a way to have a whole bunch of children of great ones?
Yeah, but then, like, they would drop third chords if you killed them.
What if you only get a third chord if...
Yeah, I so I sense a degree of improvisation here.
What if their third chords were already taken?
Will they be dead?
No, you just take the chord. You don't kill them.
The chord's, like, inside the body.
No, what are you talking? Umbilical cord, right?
They're not an umbilical cord.
No?
No.
What are they?
They're like an organ inside the child, and they're referred to, like, colloquially as an umbilical cord because they link the child with the parent. But they're not literally an umbilical cord.
Okay, but when my sister was born,
Yeah.
like whatever, we brought her home and she had a...
It's just, you think of my sister was born, we were like, whatever.
No, well, she basically had the cord thing still attached and it had to
Yeah.
just fall off.
Yeah.
So, same situation. They had their cords, great one cords, whatever, attached and they just fell off and... Like, and what they do is they collect them. So maybe that's what they're burning up there. Bunch of cords.
Uh-huh.
Getting high on cord fumes. What I'm trying to say is that you find cords, okay, but the cord is already detached from the child or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to kill the child to get the cord.
But you do when it's a third cord, which is not an umbilical cord.
How do you know? How do you know that you do? Sure.
Because oh my god.
Go ahead.
Okay. Orphan of Cause, dead, third chord. Annalise's kid, dead, third chord. Murgo, dead, third chord. Ariana's kid, alive, dies, third chord.
Okay, but the problem with that is this: maybe you could have the option of just like yanking the cord out or waiting for it.
But
Maybe
you don't know where
wait.
It could be in its brain.
Okay.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Maybe there's an option in some cases where we could just take the cord without killing the actual child.
Okay, but what is this? Is this like the hidden extra ending?
Like, no, like if maybe if Bloodborne was a little more of a choice game, it's like in Bioshock, do you like whatever cure the little sisters or do you turn them into slugs or whatever
Yeah.
the hell is going on there? So maybe it could have been the same thing. Do you want to just take the cord without killing this enemy, or do you want to kill him and get like a more powerful cord?
Yeah, but what we're now talking about is a hypothetical idea you've come up with for something that doesn't happen in the game.
Okay, but the thing is, our hunter is like, he's not very good at talking. He's more like, it just hacks everything up. So maybe like, there's a possibility of just like getting the cord without killing anyone. Maybe
But
those celestial children are
The
proof of
whole
that.
point of the story is that the Great One's children die, and they need replacement children. That's
Okay, but do they die because we kill them?
well, that's the confusing part, because the one we see definitely does die because we kill it.
That's another thing that I always wonder. Do they die because, like, why? Just naturally? Or...
Well, it's never really, like, it just says they always die. So, like,
I guess I assumed it would be because, like, natural causes, but now that you say it...
I think it's that it's always, like, the birth always goes wrong, and that's why Yharnam and Kos, like, they seem to have deliberately never given birth. Like, they seem to have kept the child inside themselves, because they know that if they give birth, the child will die.
Huh. But Ariana gives birth just fine. Well,
No, she does.
yeah,
What about that? Just
she
fine.
no.
She's sobbing in a pool of blood, going, "Was this thing born of me?" You're like, Dr. Sinclair is in the room. Thumbs up. Well, good.
What
No
I mean by
complications.
what I mean by that is that the birth happens and the child is still like this. The celestial is still alive.
It's
like,
alive. Very like we don't know. It may have died within like a couple of minutes of being born. Like we don't actually know.
But those other celestial children that look just like this one didn't die.
Yeah, but we don't know if they're meant to be the same thing.
But they look the same.
Well, they look the same, but Ariana's is smaller and is a different color. So I don't know if they're literally meant to be
the
the
other
same
ones
thing.
grew up.
I know.
So we literally
it's
found
very
children
confusing.
of great ones. No, everything explained. The children of great ones don't have to die. The problem is we keep killing them because we think that's the only way to get their umbilical cords. But what they show us is that no, there's a way to get the umbilical cords without killing the children and they be fine.
Okay, so it's like Undertale or something. This is like the pacifist ending that we haven't.
I never played Undertale.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Going back to the Celestial Children.
Go on.
They're very, very similar to Ebrietas in that,
Mhm.
like, they can also vomit out frenzy blood at you, which is something Ebrietas does.
They literally look like Ebrietas. Like, if you look at them,
They look like tiny Ebrietases, yeah.
it's just like unapologetic. You know how Ebrietas has this like her face is like split,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember Redgrave. I think it was Redgrave mentioning that like, oh, perhaps the Healing Church like experimented on her and just like cut through her face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really like that theory. That's like, wow, the visual. It's ew.
Yeah.
Gross. Bad Healing Church.
Yeah.
But when you look at the little celestial children at their artwork, they have the same thing going on, like
Yeah.
a little cut across.
Yeah.
So it's like it's literally little Ebrietas, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. An Ebrietet.
Ebrietet. That is so cute. Oh my god.
We're not having a Bruetet.
I will tell you something that you may not believe. I did not think of a Bruetet. I was just taken away by how cute the name Ebrietet is and how cute those little things are. And that's where my brain was. And it's going to be there for like the next half an hour. But then you decided to say Bruetet. And then like the beautiful vision that I had just cut off. And I was like, I guess we're going to have a Bruetet. So I just want you to know
Back
that
to the Celestial
you
Children.
are the enabler. Okay. All right.
Okay. So what I think happened...
Yes.
What I think happened is just because they're, like, in Ace. I think it's literally just that, like, the Healing Church, they was messing around in Ace. And Ace, like, broke open and a bunch of them came out.
But, like, it still doesn't explain what they are. I guess you're saying they're just weird creatures.
Yeah, they're just little, like, kin things. Because it might be that, like, if you're kin, you can still reproduce. They're not the children of great ones, but they're, like, yeah.
We'll have to have a podcast again on kin and great
No.
ones. What do you mean, no?
We just did one on kin. It was, like,
When?
really recently. I remember it was the topic.
Like 2 years ago?
Okay, if you're interested in kin, you can just look up kin on this channel. It will be there. There's been no new Bloodborne content for fucking 5 years, okay? Nothing new has happened.
I feel like, maybe we can have a guest on. I feel like every time we talk about it and
Join
we
us
learn
next
more
week.
and we grow.
We'll have Smotown on to discuss Lauren, which we haven't done for literally months.
Okay, Richie. So basically basically what you're saying is those celestials are just creatures or kin that live in the dungeons.
Yep.
But how did they come to be? Like,
Well, it
were they
says they're
always like
children,
this?
so it might be that. You know how, like, there's like the bastards of Lauren that are like the babies of Lauren. They're born in these like deformed things.
Yeah.
It might be that the children of Ys are born as that, because it's like Ariana's child as well is born like that, and so it could be that like it's just that's what the cursed children of Ys were born as, and then what we're seeing with Ariana is like that's like the perfection. That's like the actual child of a great one. Because from what we can tell, like Orphan of Cause does not look like Ariana's child, like at any point in its life. Even taking into account that it's what you fight's not really the child. Like there's multiple models they use of it, and like there's the sort of smoke form you see. I think that is meant to be the child, because it looks like a gestating fetus when it's curled up, and I think like they probably like all the great ones look different. All their children probably look different. That's the child of Erden. It looks like a celestial child, but it's not really a celestial child.
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, Richie.
Is this even longer than the last one? When
27 minutes, so a little shorter.
it's 20 minutes over what you thought it was going to be.
Thank you, Richie. And could you reiterate where they are?
They are in Upper Cathedral Ward. That's it. I mean,
But
okay, I can give you dungeons.
Are they also
They're in
dungeons?
East. They're in East.
There we go.
Yeah.
But also Ariana's, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Is that truly it?
Well, okay. If you want further evidence that they came from the labyrinth, we can venture into things that were cut.
Okay, sure. Let's do that.
Because there are, and it's like still in there. They just don't load. Near the entrance to the chalices, you know, like Yusefka's clinic, where there's the giants and the underground passage.
Yeah. Yes.
There's celestial children there that just don't load.
Say that again. There's celestial.
There's celestial children in that part of Yusefka's clinic that connects to Forbidden Woods. The part that's like, the healing church. We're digging up the chalice dungeons here. There's a bunch there that are like still in the data. They just don't load. So, yeah, I think they are just supposed to be like, oh, we were fucking around in the Eldritch ruins and we found some little monster things, little slug things. Yeah. And they kind of look like Ebrietas, I guess, because Ebrietas is from East, so it sort of makes... Yeah, I guess like how Cos looks like the crawlers from the Nightmare Frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it makes me think, like, now that I thought about it a bit more, it's like, Ys is, like, in contact with the cosmos or something, right?
Yeah.
So what if, basically, everyone in Ys just had the ability to turn, or eventually just were born being turned into, like, Ebrietas, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if these are just inhabitants of Ys?
It kind of makes sense because Ebrietas, like, we've talked about the weirdness of Ebrietas before. That she's like, she's a great one, but she's also, as far as the game's concerned, she's also kind of not. She's like kin. She takes bonus damage from Bolt, which the others don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they talk about her as like the left. I guess, like, okay, here's an analogy, right?
Yeah.
If you imagine, we've talked about Ebrietas is very similar to Rom. So if you think of Ebrietas as Rom, then the celestial children would be the little spiders that accompany Rom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. And I'm looking at the Ys dungeons. So what are the enemies that appear in Ys?
It's like the usual setup, but there's it's like basically Tsumaru except with more brain suckers and spiders and the celestial children. There's a lot of celestial children in Ys.
Because one of the Great Ys Chalice
Ish.
It says here depth 5. Are
Yeah.
the bosses always the same? Or
In the preset chalices, they are, yeah.
like here it says like layer bosses, layer 1 brain sucker, layer 2 great celestial, level 3 Ebrietas daughter of cosmos.
Yes.
So like if you look at those 3, it's like everybody who's some sort of enlightened, you know?
Yeah, that's
like
the point of
brains.
Ace.
Yeah. So I guess you know what, I'm on board with the idea that like the inhabitants of Ease got like so enlightened at some point that they were like they turned into Ebrietas, and then like they just like their children are Ebrietas, and like this is the like Ebrietas culture or whatever.
If you accept that, like, the spiders that accompany Rom are the old, like, students,
Yeah.
then it could be like whatever transformed Ebrietas. The people with her became the little slug things. In the same way that the other Bergenworth students presumably became the spiders that are with Rom.
So you think Ebrietas was human at one point?
Yeah, I think, well, maybe not human, but I think she's the same kind of deal.
Or
She's like Rom.
Sumerian or whatever?
Yeah, that like
Okay.
it was someone who tried to ascend to a higher like life form, and they got like 75% of the way
Mhm.
there. Then the rest of
Mhm.
East managed it.
Okay. That's
The
cool.
rest of
That's
the rest of East left.
So it's kind of like it makes me think like let's say you meet somebody from Ease who like truly ascended and left wherever they had to go,
Yeah.
and it's like you meet them and you're like, man, Ebrietas is so cool, and they're like, Ebrietas didn't even transform. You want to see cool? Come to our planet.
You know what? I had a vision because I'm turning into you.
Okay.
The other inhabitants of East are like Ebrietas, Belbruitus, Disco Bruitus.
Oh my god! So the ones that truly ascended.
They left Ebrietas behind.
I'm getting another vision. So, Richie, we're exploring Is, right? And we finally stumble upon like the door that will open and show us the true enlightened people of Ease, and we expect something amazing.
Yeah.
And it is just a Brutus blue.
Oh.
Did you bring me a baby? Close the door, you're letting out all the larvae.
See, you're talking like me, and I'm talking like you now. We're there. You've officially become like a two-headed monster.
Thank you, Richie.
Thank you, Sim.
Okay, so to summarize, okay, I like this. So there's two school of thoughts.
To summarize, after all that.
Yeah, so there's what Sin thinks happened, and there's what Richie thinks happened. So, what I think happened is that people in AIS started becoming so enlightened that they just like they eventually like I guess through evolution became like the little celestial children, and when they grow up they're big celestial children.
Yeah.
And I guess eventually they transform and ascend and go off to their home planet, wherever that is.
If they're born in East, wouldn't East be the home planet?
No, because you gotta like. No, because because they left. Remember, they left her behind.
Right. But they left her behind in East.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a whole thing that happens in this. Okay, you're born in this
Yep.
as a little larva or whatever, a little celestial child, and then you
Yep.
grow up. Okay.
Okay.
Then you grow up into Ebrietas. Okay.
Okay.
But then you can go beyond that, and when you go beyond that, that's when you ascend and leave to where you're supposed to be.
But where are you supposed to be?
Well, we don't know. They left. They didn't tell us. They left Ebrietas behind.
But they're all right.
So what Richie is saying is that
Yeah, I think you said it best though.
No, you were saying.
No, when you close the door, you're letting the larva out. Because I think they're things in Ace.
Mhm.
And the reason they're in Upper Cathedral Ward is that they're fucking around with the East Chalice.
Oh, Jesus, give me 1 second. Hello? Sorry, Ebrietas called me to ask for movie recommendations.
Oh.
What were you saying, Richie?
Yeah, I was saying that, like, if we accept that Ebrietas is... Okay, so they're things that are from Ace.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happened is, because the choir are messing around with the East Chalice, which we know they are,
Mm-hmm.
they, like, a bunch of them just came up out of the East Chalice. Like, into the above ground or into the waking world, or however you want to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, because Upper Cathedral Ward's a total mess. And it's because everything's fucked up, so they all just crawled out of the labyrinth, and that's why, like, they're in Ebrietas' room, which is where the chalice, like, altar is.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, if you look up where the bodies are placed, there's, like, where all those celestial children are, there is a dead healing church member.
Mm-hmm.
That presumably they all just, like, killed them. So I think they just crawled out and screwed everything up. Like, when the Upper Cathedral Ward was destroyed, they just kind of, like, slid it out of the chalices. As to what so, like, they're not, like, the Children of Grey ones. They're just, like, because everything went wrong, these things showed up. As to what they are, I think it's, like, if, like I was saying, if you think of Ebrietas as, like, Rom has those little, like, spider things that serve her. And, like, the blood-starved beast, like, it's got the other, like, similar-looking beasts that worship it, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just, like, in Ace, whatever the hell happened to produce Ebrietas, she's also got her little, like, entourage, or like Cos has the crawlers. They're just that.
Mm-hmm.
And they might be, like, immature. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, like, you can say they're immature, but, like, the celestial, like, the blue ones, the emissaries, like, they behave in a way that's very childish, and they look childish, but you can make them from an adult. So, like, we don't know. The other thing is, like, we were talking about how the cursed children of Lauren, they look like they're born deformed, and they looks like they grow up into the giant lost children in the Nightmare of Menses.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think the other explanation might just be that the children of Ys were born as those things, as part of the curse that was placed on Ys. And it's just that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Richie.
Well, we aimed for 7 minutes. We're just on 40 now. That was what, where, why celestial children went on a number of detours we were not expecting, including Adam Sandler, and finally revealed the origin of Ebrietas. Canon real.
Thank you, Richie. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Everyone, have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.